And I clicked the old opening. What's going on, everybody? I haven't done one of these in forever. I just looked and it was like December 6th was the last time I'd done a Cash or Crash. Between holidays and football and laziness, I just hadn't done it. But we are going to get one done this week. Talk about these books. Of course, I had to pick a week when there were 20 books between the two lists. But it just makes it easier when I come back and do the look back later. Let's see, we had Unruly tailgating. What's going on? Doubt he's back yet, but he was tailgating. Appreciate that. Discovery Bay, hanging out. Disco. VV, what's going on, my friend? Backseat driver, thank you for hanging out. There's Unruly. He is back. Trash them all, says I. I don't actually think that this week, but we'll get into it. Fritzies, what's going on? There's Disco, hanging out. So, yeah, I'm on top of my game. Not really. we will get into these books, and, yeah, we can mock a few of them, and a few of them some of them are actually decent this week. I know, that's surprising. So let's add this to the stream. Sam, I am. What's going on? All right. There's our first book. I don't know. This is on the list because it was optioned. Anybody even heard of this before? Oh, wait. This is the background. I don't want the background. I want the overlay. There we go. That's what I think. I figured I'd start off strong. It was optioned by Paramount Network for Paramount Network. Do any of you even know what Paramount Network is? It's an actual channel. Yeah. And people are paying $25 plus for this because it's going to be a show on Paramount Network. I stand by my assessment. All right. We're going to move along. Let's see who else we had come in. Dr. Lovebox, what's going on? Exactly. Particularly when it's optioned by a network nobody even has heard of. Come on. I mean, oh, hang on. I'm having issues. Where's my mouse? Work, computer. There we go. Next, we have Hero-gasm #1. And this is obviously the first appearance of, I don't remember the name of this character, this Captain America takeoff. I forget the name. The Jensen Ackles is going to play in The Boys Season 3. There was news this week that he was actually going to appear for the first time in episode 6, which seems oddly specific when they haven't even announced when the season's coming yet. But so that caused this book to hit the list again, up to $50 for raw copies. 9.8, because I guess it's kind of hard to get a 9.8 in this, is up to $450. It's going for $450 because there's only 4 on the census. I think the 9.8 is probably a little high. We'll see how well this does in The Boys, but The Boys has been a popular show, so my guess is this is not. I'd put this as an I'll be back, but not between now and when the show comes out, because it's kind of ebbed and flowed as we've been waiting for it. But yeah, I didn't write down my note of what I thought this one was. But that's this one. Let's see who we got coming in here. We got Dreadnoks for Life is in here. Well, that's true, but I ain't paying $25 for it on a show that's going to be looks like that's it. That's the only person that I missed. Next up, we have... Oh, you have to click on the actual thing and not on the StreamYard. Port of Earth #1. And this is basically in development in Amazon, which caused this book to jump up to $15. Yeah, okay. I mean, maybe it's The Boys. Maybe it's really good. Tom was raving about how good it is. Any of this option in production, in development stuff, I just usually just patience, and there's always a window you can get it cheaper between now and whenever the announcements are, and maybe this will be great, but I know you can get it for cheaper. Yeah, it was optioned like 2 years ago, and now they announced that it was actually in development. So that gives you a good feeling for option news, as it takes forever, even from when something is optioned before it goes into development. So it took 2 years. And how long it goes from in development to actual production? Probably another year. So yeah, you got time on this one. There you go. All right, with that, we're going to move out of the option TV stuff and we're going to move into the covers. And next up is, why is my mouse giving me problems today? Haha, number one. This is the Gallagher cover. It's a store variant, so there is a trade and a virgin, both of which are going for 150 plus. Super creepy cover, kind of cool. I think it depends on whether or not the series amounts to anything, whether or not this holds. 150 plus is a lot for a store variant this quickly. Maybe this series is going to be great. I could see the virgin, just because of how creepy it is, maintaining these kind of prices or maybe even going up a little bit. I would guess the trade dress will fall back a little bit. But I don't know. The haha isn't really that intrusive on this one, but I would guess that that's kind of what happens because there's less of the virgin than there are the other. I mean, if you're into horror stuff and this turns out to be good, I guess maybe. But to me, I think both of these I'd be patient on. I'd call this I'll be back. I mean, it's cool, but it's not, I don't know. I don't think it's that cool. And I think the series has to be a hit for this to maintain these kind of values and take off. And odds are against most of these Image series. Some take off, but most do not. And that's where I would be on this one. Comic book exclusive of High Republic. I think the guys who make these lists should put the books there. You're not wrong there, Dr. Lovebox. So we'll put that up there, but they do it. And yeah. Next up, we have Dr. Aphra, number 7, the 1 in 25 Frisian. So we got hot artist, hot character, plus Star Wars, plus the 1 in 25. And Star Wars 1 in 25s are typically this series. There's not a lot of 1 in 25s on this because this series is not super high ordered, although it is fairly popular. The result is this 1 in 25 is going for 150 to 175 out the gate, which makes me sad because I like it and I like the character and I like Frisian and I'd like to have it, but I will not pay those prices. But Star Wars ain't your thing. Yeah. I still think this is an I'll be back. Like typically these Star Wars variants hold pretty well. I did hear there was potentially also a first appearance in this as well, which might keep it pretty high, but 150 to 175 is a lot for 1 in 25, even for Star Wars 1 in 25. My guess is this one settles $100, 100 to 125. I don't think it like comes crashing back down to like ratio, but I don't think it keeps pushing these initial gotta have it prices. That's kind of my thought on this. I think it's, I don't think it's ever going to be cheap. I don't think it's ever going to be $25. I don't think it's ever going to be really $50. Because I just don't think there'll be enough of them, and I think the demand for both the character and the artist are too high. But I think this becomes more of a $100 book than $150, $175 book. That's my prediction. A reminder, unlike that I didn't say at the beginning to anybody that's watching this, unlike my look back video where I'm actually just reporting what the books have done, this is completely my opinion. I will be right. I will be wrong. Use it for what it's worth, in my opinion. Yeah, you can get a raw copy of her first appearance still in that same range. Which is what I would get another one of those. But I actually have 3 currently getting cleaned and pressed and hopefully send to CGC soon. So, Witter does have some great Aphra covers. I really like Ashley Witter as an artist. I'm a big fan. Aficionado. And speaking of sent off to get cleaned and pressed, there's Jimmy. He's going to be doing that for me. Yeah, she's a Chicagoan. So she's Chicago area. Because she's always at C2E2. She usually always comes down for Planet when they have it. So, yeah. Hey, Kachung and Delphia, what is going on? So, yeah, love this cover. I just think 150, 175 is too high. Not way too high, but I would think going to be more of a 125 book in 6 months. We'll see. Next up, we have another store variant, and this is this Star Wars The High Republic #1. I don't remember which store actually had this now. I forgot to write it down. That is a homage to the Clone Wars #1. This thing is insane. The Virgin is going for $300 to $500. The trade dress is going for $200 to $300. I mean, this book is crazy hot right now. I managed to order the 125 Witter for High Republic 2. Just sold 17, which is under. Nice. And yeah, they're pushing $100 already on that Witter 1 in 25. So, hey, Dennis, what's going on? Yeah, I saw this one. I didn't pull the trigger, but I wish I had, because I'd be turning that sucker. I think that's too. I don't think it can keep that. I call this an I'll be back too. I mean, I think this cover is going to have value. I think these first appearances in this book have potential to be important, because I think they're going to push this High Republic. They're pushing it hard. They're going to do stuff with these characters. But $300 to $500 for the store variant seems like a ton to me. At this stage, I feel like this is an I'll be back, in terms of it's going to settle a little lower, and then something will happen with one of these characters, and then it'll jump back. But boy, this seems low, or seems high right off the bat. Yeah, there's definitely some weird stuff going on. Maybe it's. I don't think it ever comes back much. I really don't, but I do think maybe this is a little high. I'm actually reading the first book. I grabbed the first book. I'm about halfway through the first novel, Light of the Jedi. I'm really enjoying the novel. Charles Soule is a good writer. Hey, J Hood. So I'm enjoying it. I enjoyed the first comic. I thought it was kind of cool to see a Padawan go through a trial, and but we'll see. I don't know. We'll see if it maintains. Disney is pushing. They're making a push on it. We'll see what happens. Next we got what we got. So yeah, I think this is still an I'll be back. I think it will be cheaper than these crazy prices right now. And we got a little Adam Hughes goodness with Black Cat #2. This is a 1 in 50. It's only going for 70, which is not crazy high for 1 in 50 right out the gate. But I don't know that this is really his best work. Like for Black Cat covers, this is not one I would chase. I'm a Hughes fan. I'm a Black Cat fan, but that was kind of what I thought. So we'll see where it goes. I'm not really saying trash. I don't think this maintains over ratio. I think this is a $25 to $50 book all day. I don't think it maintains $70. It's not. I don't think it's trash. I don't think it's a dumpster fire or anything. But I definitely I would definitely wait and come back to this one. I would not continue to chase this one. I wouldn't chase it right now, right out the gate. Hey Kenneth, what's going on? It's too cramped. Yeah, and love Hughes, but I just don't think I just don't think this is his best work in any way, shape, or form. Really, it just, yeah. I have to agree with all of those things. It just seems a little off to me. So no, I would not chase this one. I think this is for sure. Well, I don't even know if this is an I'll be back, because I just don't like it enough. But at least not for me. But I think it's an I'll be, even if you do like it, I think it's an I'll be back. Next, we're going to do a little 80s nostalgia. Nothing really going on here other than it's G.I. Joe #1. This time last year, they put it on the list. This time last year, a 9.8 could be had for $400. And now it's one sold this week for $1,400 for a 9.8. So that is why this one hit the list. Still talking about that Hughes. Pick up any of his Ferris covers over there by cat. Yeah, I see a cat or a So G.I. Joe #1, $1,400. It's 9.8 at $1,400. The nostalgia is strong with this one. This one, I don't think this is ever it might level and then creep back a little bit, but I think long term this book is just going to keep creeping up. I do think that it's a big jump in 1 year, but nostalgia is strong with this one until people my age and a little older get out of comic books, this one's not going anywhere, even with no movies or anything else, because we just remember it. Yeah. So I don't think it's coming back. I think there's nothing pushing this other than people want it that are our age, unruly. My age to your age, basically. And the people want it. They have the nostalgia for it. They love the series. So yeah, this one's just going to continue to creep up, in my opinion. I don't know that it's going to go. I don't know if the straight cash home me, and the fact that it'll double or triple again in the next couple of years. But my guess is it keeps going up. That actually hit the list a while ago. I did a look back on that a while ago. But yeah, so let's see. Next. All right, this is the stupidity of the week. Oh my God. So this was number one on Tom's list. It kind of fell in the middle for me because that's where I had a gap on my sheet when I was writing stuff down and trying to group them a little bit. So Ultimate Fallout 4, the Djurjevic variant. So Miles has been super hot for the last year. This book has been the insane book. And when it hit $5,000, people thought that was nuts. When it hit $10,000, people thought that was nuts. One went for $13,000 like a week or so ago, and then one went for $14,500. $14,500 or $14,500. Yeah, $14,500 for one of these in a 9.8. Holy crap! That's a lot for a modern book. But people believe in Miles. This is. Man, people got money to spend, and they are spending it on Miles Morales. I don't know who these people are that have this money. They say that, but we'll see. I mean, $14,000? That's crazy money. But that's what's going for. And I don't think this is ever coming back. I don't see Miles cooling down to a degree. I mean, could a 9.8 sell for 12? Yeah. but it's not. I would guess 9.8 of this, the floor is now 10. That's just my opinion. Yeah. There's a lot of books I'd much rather have for $14,000. Isn't the print run on this book crazy? Well, on Ultimate Fallout 4, the print run is crazy high. This was the 1 in 25. I think it was the 1 in 25. So there's not as many of these, but they're still not like scarce. They're out there. Yeah. You could get several high grade. Hey, Schulte, what's going on, man? Comic fan, thank you for joining us. This is my thing, but I don't think 1 in 20. Yeah, it is the 1 in 25. That's what I thought. Okay. Couldn't remember if it was 1 in 25 or 1 in 50 for some reason, but I thought it was 1 in 25. But yeah. Well, think about that. $14,000 for Miles, the variant. And obviously there's a huge print run on this as well. Way more of these. But this hit an all-time high this week. 9.8 went for $800 for Carnage. I realized villain, hero, like, I get the difference. Don't get me wrong. And I realize there's a ton of these. This is the late 90s. These are everywhere. But just that, it just was striking to me that one was $14,000 for the first Miles and $800 for the first Carnage. This one, the movie's coming. This one, I think, over the next 6 months, depending on what happens with the movie, is going to continue to creep up. Honestly, I think now would be a good time to grab one if you were in turn for when the movie actually comes out or whatever. We'll see how well they pull off Carnage and how well Woody does. I don't know if long term, but long term, this book's not coming back. It's going to continue to just creep up. People love symbiotes. They just flat love them, and you can tell by the fact that Marvel puts them on everybody and everything right now. And these are Venom and Carnage are the two symbiotes. I mean, they just put Carnage on Mary Jane and this Venom versus Carnage thing. So I don't think he's talking about that Miles Redmond and FF1. Yeah, a lot. Yeah, I think this is actually still undervalued a little bit. To be honest, at $800 for 9.8. I mean, I realize there's a lot of them, but I think it's still a little undervalued. Not a 9.8 for 1,800 in February. I'm not sure which book you're talking about. That's a good question. I think Venom's a little more popular. I think maybe the print run on it. Oh, 300 is a high print run. I think people have just been obsessed with Venom. Got a second print copy, but yeah, I think this one's still going up as well. I think it's going to continue to creep, even if the movie isn't great. I think this one continues to creep up. This is a straight cash book. It just is. Next, we have more Spider-Man kind of spec. And where are we at on here? Slinger. Okay, let me move this over. Okay, Slinger's number 0. So I don't know if you guys remember this. I actually have the books where these 4 characters, you see them here, are basically identities that Peter Parker took on when Spider-Man was being hunted for something he didn't do. And he basically paraded around as these four alternate heroes so that people wouldn't automatically associate one of them with Spider-Man when they suddenly appeared. And that's basically, and it went, I actually have the books where he's on the cover as each of these. Well, then after he went back to being Spider-Man, people took over these identities. And that's what this book is. And basically, this is all based on the rumors that Dusk, which is the one down here, this guy, that Sony's going to make a Dusk movie, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me of all the Spider-Man characters to make a movie out of, but that's the rumor. And as a result, it's going for 25 to 30. I think this is absolutely, let's see if we can get to my branding. Yeah. I mean, we haven't ever seen this character since the 90s. Maybe Sony tries to make a movie, but they could make so many other characters from the Spider-Man thing. I know they're trying to milk Spider-Man for every penny they can get out of it, but yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, way back last February. Okay, yeah, I got you. Yeah. Yeah, that's terrible. It's terrible spec. It's almost a dumpster fire, but I put it as a trap. But this, I think, is important. Sony has thrown out rumors on every single Spider-Man character possible. Yeah. So there you go. Go get your Dusk. First appearance of Dusk now. Next, we got Venom number 9. The first appearance of Dylan Brock. This book has ebbed and flowed a ton in the last year and a half. People think he's going to be super important. They get on it, they jump on it, it kind of spikes, and then it drifts back down, and then something else happens, and it drifts back up. Well, the spec now, it's all about that Venom 200 cover we saw with Venom sitting on the throne, and people are specking that that's not Eddie, that's Dylan. I don't know how much that is, or that Dylan's just going to play a super important role in the end of Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman's run on Venom. Here's the thing. Maybe Dylan has a big reveal. Maybe that he's the future of Venom. But issue 201, when Cates and Stegman are off, is going to be a different writer. Are they going to use Dylan? Is he going to continue to be important? This is an I'll be back. Right now, I would say everything Venom null right now would be an I'll be back for me. Would be wait till King in Black is done. Cates and Stegman's run is ending. Somebody else is going to take over. They'll take it in a new writer. It'll go in a slightly new direction. All of this stuff will calm down. People will start to forget about it. And then they may bring them back. They may become important later, but there's going to be a lull. And that would be my statement on this. I just think, just a little patience here. Wow, we're up to 36 people. Thank you guys for hanging out and me giving my silly opinions. I appreciate it. So, again, this is all just my opinion, but that's what I think here. I think with Kate's run coming to an end, I think I'd be patient on all of this stuff. We're right in the heart of the madness with King in Black and everything right now. If you don't have it, be patient. That is my take on that. Where are we at? Next up, we have. Which was the next one? Avengers 52. This is pure spec off of. I wonder if StreamYard is hung up because I haven't got any comments in like 5 minutes. Avengers 52. This is the first appearance of Grim Reaper. It's also when Black Panther officially joins the Avengers, I think. But this has everything to do with the spec of, was he on the is that who's on the brooch that Agnes is wearing? And we saw his helmet in the episode 2 intro, and people thinking Grim Reaper is going to play some sort of some sort of role in this. Venom 200 is going to have minimum 200 covers. Yeah, 400 store exclusives. Yeah, I think you're probably right. Have it all straight off the rack, ticket selling? Might be a good time. I mean, it might be a good time to move all that stuff. It's definitely hot right now. Even if he appears, I don't think this is a long-term value. I would be avoiding this right now. This, to me, this is a trap. I don't think Grim Reaper is the kind of villain that. Let me put this up here again. Now, this book is going for what? $300, 9.0 sold for $350, which is what a 9.4 was going for. Like, this book is always going to have value because of the Black Panther part of the key, and like it's always going to have value. I just wouldn't be chasing it right now. I think it's a trap right now. I don't think even if he appears in WandaVision that he's going to have a big roll down the line. I think if he appears, he's going to be like the henchman of the real big bad that's probably going to show up in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, which would be like Nightmare or Mephisto or Dormammu or somebody else. Like, I don't think there's a lot of legs to this one, in my personal opinion. Yeah, it's a good book. Yeah, I think it drops a little bit. I like WandaVision. Me too. She had a lot of love heading toward a character like Grim Reaper, even if screen appearance. This is what I'm saying. Not gonna see it. So there you go. That's my thoughts on Grim Reaper. This would definitely be an I'll be back on this book. And honestly, I'd run it more for the Black Panther portion than the Grim Reaper. And I think that's always what that book's gonna be. Captain America, number 25. People are back. The fact that this book is as cheap as it was, that it hit the list, surprised me. This book had dropped all the way down. That hitting the list, it's going for $10 to $15. 9.8 was hit 145, which is down from where it was. When Cap first handed him the shield, this book was way higher than this. It dropped all the way down to like a $5 book. It's back up because the show's getting ready to come out. People are specking, will it be Falcon? The fact that it dropped so hard between the time that Steve handed him the shield on the show and tells me that this book just doesn't. I mean, maybe they make him like, if you can get it for $10, now's probably the time to get it, honestly, before the show comes out. I think it goes up if he ends up with the shield. If he doesn't, it's worthless. I mean, that's where you're at. I think the plot my guess is he probably ends up with the shield. I know there's people thinking, oh, well, it could go either way. And I think that's what they're setting up in the thing. But my guess is he's going to end up with it ultimately. So I think it goes up. If you can get it for 10 to 15, it's based off the toy leak. Yeah, I wasn't going to say that, but there's a toy leak with him having the shield and in the outfit. And which may or may not be give away the whole thing. I think most of us think that he's going to end up with it. I think Bucky may have it for part of the show, but yeah. At $10 to $15, it's hard for me to call this anything of a trap. To me, if you can get it for $10, great. Like, $15, okay. I think it probably goes up from there, but I don't think it's a super valuable book long term. My opinion is important. I don't know about that, Simon, but I appreciate it. You might be the first person that's ever thought that. Yeah, I think it would have been better if it would have been just a dark silhouette instead of a white silhouette. in my opinion. But that's just me. Okay, where are we at? We got Nova #1. So Kevin Feige did another interview with the same people he did an interview with a couple years ago. It said Nova is coming, and he said Nova is coming, and so the book spikes again. This book has been like up, down, like, something comes out. Feige says he's bringing Nova. People jump all over this thing. Then nothing happens. No news. It falls back. Then something rumors again, and then it jumps up. It's a solid book. During the interview, and we'll get to the other things, they asked him, is Nova coming? Yes. Is it going to be Richard Rider? Yes. Is it going to be Sam Alexander? Yes. Like, he basically said yes to everything, that they're all coming eventually, which I think is true. Right now, it's going for $200 raw. 9.8 was up to $11.50, which is, I think, not at the highest peak that it's had during some of this crazy rumors, but getting back close to that. I'd still kind of call this in. What did I call this? I'll be back. I think there's recent Feige news. Everybody's jumping on it again. But I don't think Nova's coming for a long time. They're talking about pushing the movies again. Like, they're pushing Black Widow again because of COVID. Nothing's happening with this character anytime soon. I would just be patient and look for a good deal. Solid book. I agree. But I would be patient and look for a deal. Hey! Oh, there is no D&D tonight. Oh, no. I'm laying down Delphia and Kachun. So, you can see I got my cute sweater on today. They play the night game. So, I begged out on the boys for D&D. And Alec jumped on it because it gave him time to kind of write, since we're into the last battle a little bit. Gave him an extra week. So, no D&D tonight. And no whatever report. Unless I do one after the football game, which will depend on how long the football game runs and whether or not we win. Because if we lose, I probably won't be in the mood to do it. So I'm sorry, Delphia, to let you down. So speaking of Sam Alexander, getting more screen time, that is the next book on the list. Marvel Point 1, first appearance of Sam Alexander. This one only going for $25, and 9.8 going for $250. $25, that's probably not a bad, like, long-term spec book. You might get it for less because, like I said, there was just recent news. Man, if you could get in on this book for $20-ish to sit on for 5 years, I would, yeah. Well, if you get in it for $25 and then you sell a 9.8 for $250, and it's a 9.8, you turn it into a 9.8, sell it for $250. Right now, you're making money, but yeah. Oh no! So it was one of the reasons I made sure I did this week because I wasn't doing the other. So thank you, Delvia. Oh, he thinks the Bills are going to pull off the upset. I only have one response to that: Mahomes. So when he starts, 24-1 in their last 25 games. Mahomes. That's all I have to say. So, but we'll see. I think the Bills can pull the upset. I think the Chiefs have to play they have to play well to win today. The Bills are a very good team, and but I won't bore anybody else with football because I know that's not why people tune in here. So let's see what we got. What is next? So yeah, Sam Alexander, $25. I think you're still. I mean, I think you could probably get it for a little less in the lull, but it's not a bad investment long term, in my opinion. Let's see. Avengers #1 from the 2010 run. This is Jim Comics, who throws out wild spec sometimes. Threw out wild spec, and a bunch of people went and bought this for $10 to $15. This is the first appearance of the son of Black Panther and Storm, which I don't even know if he still exists. Did he die? Did they kill that little kid off, or what? I've never didn't even know they had a son. And his spec was, well, maybe they'll go that way instead of Shuri for Black Panther with Chadwick being dead. And I could see them doing a son that we didn't know about with him and whatever Lupita Nyong'o's character, is that right? Her name, like his girlfriend, like that they had a son, like in the interim that we didn't see. And then he passed, but they're going to go with Shuri for now. You might see this as a little kid. I think this is garbage spec. I think this is pure garbage spec. It's at the best. It's that. It's yeah. He pretty much. Boo the underdogs. Just no. Yes, I think so. Yeah. No, thank you. Not interested in this one. All right, last 3 books are all Star Wars books. First, we have Star Wars Dawn of the Jedi, Force Storm, #1. This is the 1 in 10 variant. Had been selling consistently around $300. I think it's fairly hard to find. There's several first appearances in it because this is a kind of a throwback to the start of the Jedi Order. None of these characters, I think, have any real shot of appearing anytime soon in anything, but okay. And then somebody paid $900 for it this week, which Star Wars is insane. I love Star Wars. The Star Wars comic market right now is insane. The amount of money going into old Dark Horse Star Wars first appearance characters is crazy to me because I don't think Marvel's going to use them. Like, obviously, they're using Thrawn. Okay. Thrawn was a really, really, really good character. So far, they haven't used Mara Jade, which was super popular, a really good character. Ahsoka and them came out of the Clone Wars, but that was canon from George. All this other Dark Horse stuff is not canon to Disney and Marvel, and wasn't even canon to George. It was just other people fiddling in what he let them fiddle in. They're pushing High Republic right now. They're going with their own stuff. I don't see these characters ever becoming important. Like maybe, but $900? They do. They go for stupid money, and I get that there's several Star Wars first appearances. Name a character. I'm a Star Wars fan. I have no idea who the first appearances were in this book until I looked it up a while ago. No idea. Never heard of them. Yes, I am a KC fan. Simon might be a little behind because he's commenting on stuff that I said a minute or two ago. It must have been drunk. Yeah. I love Mara Jade as a character. I thought she was a fantastic character. I don't know that they'll ever use her though. So anyway, I think this one's crazy. To me, this is a complete trap. $900 is a dumpster fire, honestly, but at least a trap. Darth Talon's going to show up. Yeah, like a 3/4 naked female character Sith. Maybe. I don't know. I kind of doubt. It's a amazing. It's a cool design, but I would be that one I could see, but most of these are not. This is what I say. You can get first appearances of characters that are actually going to matter in Star Wars. Like you could go buy a couple of 9.8 graded copies of that first Sabine still almost for this money. Like you could be Dr. Aphra and like you could go after characters we know are going to appear, Ezra and Sabine, and yeah. Doesn't need to. Ventress, I love Ventress as a character. But she's in Clone Wars. She's actually canon. So, all right, next. We're almost done here. Speaking of Dr. Aphra, there you go. This book hit $500 for 9.8. Oh, I sold one like in December for $200. Oh, idiot. I sold my 9.8 of this like $200 back November, I guess. And it just went, but I used that money to buy 3 more copies. Those 3 copies are for under $100 at the time. So I got 3 more copies for under $100. Those are at Jimmy right now. Well, I don't know if he's picked them up yet from the post office, but they're headed to Jimmy's to be cleaned and pressed. But yeah, people are still all over Dr. Aphra, and I don't think this is a ceiling yet. This character has been popular enough. She's the only character other than Darth Vader that they have maintained a solo series for. for the last, like, since she got introduced, since she got her, like, 2015. They keep putting out her books. People love this character. She will have a show. She will have a movie. She's coming. This is not the peak of this book. I think this book is still straight cash. Yeah. Oh, ouch. Yeah. She's showing up. She loves this character, yeah. So I got 3 copies currently. I sold, like, and I thought I did great. I sold that 1 in 25 last summer for $750, and I was like, woohoo! It's like $1,500 now. I might be pushing $2,000 now. It's like, oh, dang it! But I had $80 into the pair. Well, before I got them slabbed, like I had $80 into a 1 in 25 and one of these that were the 2 books I sold. But it's just like this. Yeah, she's going through the roof. That's the note that CBSI actually put on it. Remember when we thought that Clone Wars #1 hit $500 and it was approaching its ceiling? That's the exact quote they put with this one. I think you're right, Dr. Lovebox. Very good for you, Thunderhouse. Holy dang! Congratulations to you, Dunn. That's amazing. Gigi, what's going on? Awesome. That is cool. Yeah, I've never looked into any of those like European versions, Italian versions of books. It'd be fun to have a few of those. I've been too focused on like the stuff I just don't have, which is a lot of stuff. And then finally, a book that's been criminally underrated forever. Hit the list this week. Star Wars #1, which makes me sad because I haven't bought my copy yet. But it's been undervalued forever. Like 9.8 a year ago was like $1,400. This week at 9.8 hit $4,500. Again, it has long been a criminally undervalued book. Now, mind you, again, a 9.8 of this, $4,500. That Ultimate Fallout, the Djurjevic variant, $14,500. But hopefully this spring I could snag one of these before these get too much higher. Not a 9.8. that ship has sailed. I'm hoping for like a solid 8.5 at this point. So before it gets out of price. Simon did catch up. Nice. Thanks for hanging out, Simon. The Serpents you're going for big money too on that Dr. Aphra. Yes, definitely a tough book to get in a 9.8. You got to watch out for all the reprints too. I do at least have a reprint of this, but from like 82. But yeah. So that's this week's list. There was actually some of these Star Wars books, the Nova, the ASM 361, the G.I. Joe, there's actually some good books this week out of the 20. There's also some garbage, as usual. So there's a pretty good variety, but a few more solid books than typical. So real quick, like I said, there might be a whatever report. Depends on what time the football game ends and how it turns out and whether or not I feel like doing a whatever report tonight. No D&D over on White Wolf's channel. Tomorrow night, John's Comics with Kids, Comigories is back. I'll be over there helping John host. Super Rush 9000 is going for his 3rd win in a row. If he gets it, he wins a 9.8 white pages slab. Not sure which one. I don't know if John's going to let him pick or if he's got one picked out. I'm not sure what John's going with there. So Super Rush is playing for a slab. Alex, the comic hoarder, and a couple other people. I don't think John said the whole crew yet. So I'll keep the other 2 under wraps also. Are going to be trying to knock him off and start their own run toward a slab. Come hang out. It'll be a blast. I love Comigories. I'm so honored to be filling in for Matt while he's doing this other thing. And hopefully, in a year or so, he'll come back and start doing Comigories again. But I'm happy to fill in, enjoying my time hanging out with John. And then Tuesday night, right now, we're supposed to do an indie show on Monstrous. We did have to reschedule last night's Saga again. Just, yeah. So that crew's been tough to get on the same schedule. It's just the way it is. But that's what I got going on. Thank you guys for hanging out. And, yeah, we'll catch you next time.